Presented by Jeep. It is the final stop in the regular season before Minneapolis for the Big Ten tournament next week. Nebraska is trying to lock up a double bye in the tournament as we send out Michigan seniors on senior day here in So pretty simple for Nebraska. Win and get a double bye. Not until Friday that they would have to play in the Big Ten tournament. And off we go from Ann Arbor in game number 20 for Michigan and Nebraska in the Big Ten. Michigan trying to snap a 7-game losing streak before heading to Minneapolis as the bottom seed, the 14 seed next week. And Amari Burnett on his senior day into Terrace Reed in the post, and Michigan on the board first.
Well, Michigan finally recognized and took advantage of the mismatch. Tominaga got switched on to Reed, and Reed did a good job of going right to the front of the rim and sealing the smaller Tominaga.
This will be an interesting matchup down on this end. Mast against Reed, with Mast out away from the basket, getting Burnett and using his size in the
times and drive it. He's such a versatile big man for Nebraska.
This Nebraska defense down on this end, they're the second best defense in the country over the last month.
That's the identity of this team.
And that three goes down for Terrence Williams.
Michigan becomes a totally different team to defend.
Here's Mast taking it on Reed. He gets the first two up, and Reed wins it this time.
And this is where McDaniel's really dangerous in the open floor, pushing it.
And knocks in a three. A perfect start for Michigan.
Have to get into McDaniel right away. But what's challenging about that is he's so quick. If you pick him up too far from the basket, he can get around you.
There's Williams right to the rim. Michigan hasn't missed it. Okay, now they have. Just as you start to get it out of your mouth.
Yeah, that's it.
Tominaga, his first look, and that goes through. Casey
Court or in transition. Always dangerous when Tominaga gets his first shot to go down, because he's a guy that needs no encouragement to continue to let it fly.
No, he doesn't. Burnett continues the hot start for the Wolverines.
This offense, daylight savings, noon central tip, it doesn't matter.
That's what changes things?
Apparently.
Gets the clock set.
It gets everybody going.
Here's Alec right to the rim for Alec, and he's fouled as well.
There's 15 points, just 6 points or more, and change it.
What's the record when he wears a fur coat in the post-game press conference?
Undefeated.
That's what he did in their last home game against Rutgers. Looked like Joe Namath.
He did.
Will Cheddar splashes that down. Michigan is 5 of 6 from the floor.
I love how Michigan spaced the floor, too. Nebraska is going to be an aggressive defense, trap the post, really flood to the ball. So you got to space the floor and attack.
Help side came from Cheddar, but Alec, he's got 5 points for this one today. Burnett hit his first, not his second, and Alec runs the rebound down.
Interesting, McDaniel got switched onto Alec, and I thought Doug McDaniel should have attacked him off the bounce, but instead he swung it.
Tominaga attacked Reed. Ooh, little spin on it for K. Is that where the list ends? You think those are the top 4 probably? As far as speed?
I think there's a guy that resides in Minneapolis that deserves a little bit of love, too, with his speed.
Terrence Williams from out.
Important? Clearly it is.
There's the element of the extra rest. There's also the element of that historical note of, well, the best teams are usually winning the Big Ten tournament.
For sure.
Team to start that's 4 of 6 from 3. Oh, now Terrace Reed stepping out, almost banking in jump shots.
Yeah, that's not his game.
And Tominaga, 8 points. Give him double digits. Tominaga coming off his final game at Pinnacle Bank Arena where he had 18 points. Williams short, and Tominaga clears the glass.
But that's a good pass from Reed. Instead of shooting it, he was under control and kicked it.
It's that time.
It's few players in America that can heat up like Tominaga.
Look at the Michigan fan to your right. The look on his face says it all.
This little kid couldn't believe it.
And Burnett with a step in the finger roll. I was just about to ask you
in the basket and basically face guarding him.
And a hard screen from Alec to get him free. Here's Wilcher with a wide open look.
So huge to get Wilcher back rolling February 10th in Lincoln.
And that included a 29-3 Nebraska run led by Tominaga. Today it's a 15-5 run led by Tominaga. McDaniel. He shook free of Hoiberg off the across.
Defense beats good defense. I don't know what more Hoiberg can do. That's a big-time shot from Doug McDaniel.
Well, probably the biggest difference matchup 1 to matchup 2 is Rink Mast spins and scores.
9.5 threes a game, and they're very dependent on the three-point line as well. About 37% of the points come from the three. That's ranks 33rd most in the country.
And Trey Jackson off the cheddar miss, sticks it back.
Just going to probably stick with it until Nebraska proves that they can start to operate with some comfort.
And Michigan has started red hot from 3 also. 5 of 9 in this game. Nice shake for McDaniel to get free again.
That is an incredible off the glass amongst the trees at the rim.
It's not just the straight line speed, right?
That's such a hard shot that he just put up there, and it hits the top of the backboard basically.
Mast, he can step out and shoot those. A 3 for Rink Mast. Jokic, the first time they played Michigan, flirted with a triple-double.
Yeah. What a find in the transfer portal. You needed to replace Derek Walker's versatility. Rink Mast has been just that.
Trey Jackson on the broken play has a dunk.
Who's going to settle in defensively both ways here?
And Lawrence right in the middle of that Michigan defense.
It's amazing how, as he was.
Big bite on the shot fake. And he'll get a rest. Get a little oxygen here. Here's Tominaga. 15 points already for Keisei Tominaga.
Yeah. Got some versatility as well. He was the Big Ten Sixth Man of the Year a year ago. And he's really transitioned into being the man at a high level.
Huge game for Sanford and Iowa tonight on FS1 against Illinois. Big for their bubble chances. And Keisei Tominaga, the 7th team out of the Big Ten.
And just a couple of years ago, Iowa won the Big Ten tournament, so and they're going to be a tough team to deal with coming up later this week.
The Jordan Bohannon Bank.
Yup.
Couldn't forget that in the semifinals. Hoiberg, tough catch to get it to Gary. How about Sam Hoiberg on that give?
I'm not sure what was more players for Nebraska.
The biggest lead for the Huskers in this first half at 36-28. Jackson off a shot fake into Masts. And the foul called against the Huskers.
For Sam Hoiberg.
That was the good news for Nebraska.
A lot of what Nebraska does offensively with their 5-out actions. Putting the ball in the deck and getting to the basket, wanted to explore some things in the paint.
It's usually the answer for him, right?
Just shoot it.
Just shoot it.
Win it out, just shoot it. That's usually what he does, too.
Kayat, a deep runner.
9, he's long. There's a look at Jace Howard on the bench. Team captain.
He was laughing about the yell that Kayat let out. Out of bounds.
He is feeling it right now if you're Michigan.
The biggest player on the floor defensively for Michigan out of there with Reed, and Gary carves out some space in there.
But because there was so much space to drive, that's because Tominaga is sitting on that wing, so there's no help in that gap.
22 points in the paint for Nebraska. Good three-point shooting team with a little balance today. Oh, a deep one, Doug McDaniel. The reaction from Fred Hoiberg said it all.
I think McDaniel needs to start to get a little bit more aggressive.
And Tominaga, oh, that's too open for him. 20 big ones for our account. Nebraska with its biggest lead of this first half. Rink Mast and Terrace Reed, both starting 5 men in foul trouble. Both have 2 fouls both ways. And McDaniel got past Wilcher. And on the second one, drains a 3. Current score is Tominaga 20, McDaniel 14.
Got to get into his body here if you're Michigan.
And Kayat, we got to pick him up, and Tominaga to the free throw line. You're right, even more than normal. One of the best in a matter of hours for the Big Ten men's basketball tournament.
Illinois is locked. Everybody else, TBD.
Tominaga, another tough hit. That's a 2.
And Nebraska is really starting to headhunt him to free him up with some screens.
There's Cheddar inside to the basket.
Michigan is answering the bell offensively.
Williams is fouled. Kayat got him. Here's what you're talking. Figured that was going to be one of his best first halves of the year what he did against
Ball in a Nebraska uniform than what he's done here today.
His nickname. He's working hard this weekend. He had the late night game last night on the call with Brian Butch. Northwestern with their 12th Big Ten win, beating Minnesota. And McDaniel on a heater for Michigan.
The hot hand and not even allowing them to get shots up.
What is it about working with you?
Yeah, you and I have some offensive explosions.
We get NBA games when we work together. There's Wilcher with the feel like that.
And Tominaga wanted to slow it down, and Hoiberg said, no, go, go, go.
Here's Alec going to work and dipping under and getting the roll. Up after this final 20 seconds.
Not too complicated what's coming up here. High ball screen. Doug McDaniel's going to get busy. Do you trap it? Do you switch it? And as you pointed out, you do have fouls to give if you're Nebraska.
And they do give one. Williams gives his first. Just the 15 subs. Has a foul yet. And if you do foul, wouldn't send him into the bonus. Not just playing it straight up. McDaniel. Oh, good contest at the buzzer. That does not count. They wave it off. They'll take a look. Burnett.
They say Tominaga, try to force the other guys on the floor to be more aggressive and take more shots.
Interesting, right? Because Nebraska has been so good defensively in February and March. As Tominaga cuts to the rim, he has 25 points.
And that's where Tominaga is really special. We know about his ability to shoot, but he, as a cutter off the ball, he is elite.
The biggest lead for Nebraska comes right here out of halftime. Harris Reed was in foul trouble. He's back on the floor and back in the book.
Rick Mass was in foul trouble as well. Didn't want to get too aggressive.
Oh, now he does.
Pull it.
Now he does. Oh, Alec skying in there. On Will Cheddar. Michigan started this game scorching from three. They're 8 of 15 on the game and added another with Terrence Williams.
Great read from Doug McDaniel. Nebraska a little bit slow if they were switching, if they were hedging. And it got Williams some space and a good pass from McDaniel.
And Gary is fouled.
Other ways, too. One of the things that's underrated about his... that Gary got hit with a flare screen, and what a good block from Alec.
Williams has size and uses the step to get the roll.
Bryce Williams.
Williams step back. Short on the three. And Tominaga maybe playing through a little bit of pain here. And Alec turns the corner and scores. Double digits for Alec.
14 and 2. He's got 11 points, 5 for 5 from the floor.
He was in trail position there on Williams. It buzzes around to McDaniel. Cheddar cleans it up for the Wolverines.
Got a great look for McDaniel, and Cheddar cleans it up.
So that gets Michigan back within 10. Nebraska back within 9, excuse me, inside 10. Nice pass, Williams to Mast. Back to double digit.
You're late to get to Mast.
It's blocked by Gary. Well done.
Look out.
Tominaga, transition three. Put that. With a little over 14 minutes to go.
He's been pretty disciplined today, too, in terms of not taking crazy shots.
And Alec is fouled. Poster child for leading off one shining moment.
Just in Nebraska on the right side of the bubble as we speak. I think
it's a 12-2 Nebraska run to extend this to 16. Late in the shot clock, Wilcher gets hands on it. He's out in transition with the layup.
Nebraska starting to...
You get hit by Terrace Reed, usually you stay hit.
Yes, it's a big guy.
Juwan Howard calls him the Big Hoss. Heaviest player on the floor. There's Alex slipping inside, 13 points.
Give an assist to Fred Hoiberg's dry erase board. That was outstanding X's and O's there.
There's Williams and one. Terrence Williams. As far as efficiency on defense, in the last month.
Better basketball. Ohio State is starting to surge. Iowa's playing well. It's going to be a fun tournament.
What do you think Ohio State needs to do to be in legitimate bubble conversation?
They are more than capable.
Three for Lawrence, short, and Reed smothers that rebound after his make the other way. Ohio State, part of this final day of the regular season. They're coming up next. We got action at midcourt here. Ohio State and Rutgers coming up next. You got Lawrence and Reed coming together. Juwan Howard's out there to separate them. Kayat trying to dig back. They were down by 7 at halftime. That little dust up. He was called for his first. Burnett called for his first just to clean up the foul situation on top of the technical for Bryce Williams. And Burnett back out for Llewellyn. Into the lane for Jackson. Into that strong hand. He's fouled with one in the shot.
Could be the moment where things turn a little.
Guys that we haven't seen McDaniel a little bit more. He's not in foul trouble. Michigan run to get back to 12. Just ahead of the midway point of the second half. This is that matchup that led to that little dust up. And Williams and Kayat with more contacts. That big number 42, the school record.
Very.
So that could help.
That between games for this one as well. So a lot of rest for Nebraska here in March.
There's Llewellyn straight to the rim. That looked like Doug McDaniel with 7 minutes left. Because the injury for Llewellyn, the suspension for McDaniel, we just haven't seen that mix much. And a take for Williams. He'll head back to the free throw line.
I think one of the reasons you don't see.
She's just going to let the. They're all either definitely playing in their final game in the case of Burnett. The other two, Jackson and Llewellyn, are definitely done, out of eligibility. And this will be their final college basketball game of the regular season. A hand check on Sam Hoiberg. Llewellyn 7 channel for your favorite school. There's no plus like home. Subscribe.
Fall back into a zone.
Nebraska doesn't want to mess around here. They've built a big lead. They have NCAA tournament implications and a double tie in this game. They beat the zone with Willie. Rainbow threes in that first half. And a foul. Terrace Reed said on me. Bill X said no. It's on Terrence Williams.
Flurry. You can get to 40. Word is appropriate enough for Tominaga with how he can.
Michigan came in with a 7-game losing streak. To snap it and a comeback if they do it. Well, Northwestern, who won last night, they're looking on in this window as Burnett's called for that foul. These scores hold. And Michigan State can also get to 11 wins. Shelton, Ryan Kelly, Steve Shucker. That entire team has done a great job getting all that organized, so the headaches are less for us.
That's what gritty, razor thin. You're a good team, but there's also an element of just the amount of games you have to win in a stretch of days.
Purdue will go to Minneapolis next week, trying to make it back-to-back. Terrace Reed floats it up and in.
Good play from Doug McDaniel, taking what the defense gives him. That little pocket pass.
Backdoor Gary got behind McDaniel and ahead of the help he scores.
And who was involved in the screening action?
The NCAA tournament. COVID canceled it. Won the regular season last year and lost in the Missouri Valley title game.
Lost to Drake a year ago. And
your guy Tucker DeVries.
That's it.
Here's Tominaga, finger roll to give him 30 points.
He has done an exceptional job that has not won an NCAA tournament game. So getting a bid to the tournament and then trying to win one would just be enormous for Nebraska basketball.
Well, you've seen a lot of these Husker teams over the years up close.
And you look, 7 different guys have led them in scoring this year. That sort of approach. And so you got to tip your cap to Fred Hoiberg
Chris Collins deserves some
Yes, he
talk
does.
in that conversation again this year, too, with all the injuries that they've had. And again, if these scores hold, they're going to be in double bye position. Yeah. Competition in the Big Ten. Izzo, Painter,
Yes.
Katie, Knight.
And again, Fred Hoiberg had a great stint at Iowa State.
Did
Four NCAA.
This is Burnett at the free throw line. And the 6 or 7 Big Ten teams are getting in.
You watch Nebraska play, and they pass that eye test. They look like an NCAA tournament team.
Well, 12 wins is usually the marker. 12 Big Ten wins usually the marker of a team that's getting in. As Gary sweeps in to make it 8. Individually, he's doubled his scoring.
Yes.
And had a much better year this season.
He has really taken a big step forward as a player.
This is Selvala going to the free throw line.
Stop it.
We didn't know the pickup games with the guys, and he had some games, so they decided that 3 short for Burt, and can't follow it up. Jeffrey Grace also in the game with Cale Jacobson for the Huskers. Jackson long on it, rebound for Grace, and he's fouled by George Washington. Seed of the 4 seed. We'll wait on that. Wisconsin, Purdue.
They're now going to be 6-1 in their last 7 games.
To go on Wisconsin, which would mean that Nebraska and Northwestern would grab those final 2 byes, and Nebraska, because they're 1-0 against Purdue, would have the tiebreaker by beating the first place Boilermakers. After Northwestern went 1-1, they will be the 4 seed as long as Purdue holds on and beats Wisconsin in West Lafayette. Well, the Huskers had one job today. That was win and not play until Friday in the Big Ten tournament, and they take care of it and get win number 22 and number 12 in the Big Ten, and they will play on Friday, clinching a double bye in the Big Ten tournament.